everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a pen review for you guys, and it's a pen by a brand that I have not used before with a nib from a brand that I have used before. But yeah, it's an interesting combination and I'm very excited to show you guys. It is a Ranga pen and it has a shaver nib. So let's switch the shot and look at it up close. Alright, the pen came in this box, which I really like. It has the Peyton Street Pens branding on it because that is where I bought it. And they do a lot of vintage pens and they're restored and, as it says, fully guaranteed. And they also do handmade pens, and they have Ranga as one of their brands. Now this is one of those Rangas. It is the model Abhimanyu. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, so I'm going to just refer to it as the Ranga with shaver nib. I'll put in the description what exactly this is. Now, I was just browsing around on pen sites, and sometimes I do that. I don't know why. It's probably because I just like pens, or I'm restless and bored and I just scroll around. And I came across these Rangas on Peyton Street Pens, and I was really fascinated. And I looked around for a bit and I found this finish, which is called the Diwali Cracked Ice. Also, that is my full name on there. Nice for you to know. And I just kind of fell in love with this finish. It is a beautiful cracked finish in multi-colors. It has red, a little bit of yellow, the blue, and the yellow sometimes goes green. And it just has a sort of chatoyancy that is really, really pretty. And it is really fun to look at. Now, the models that Peyton Street Pens offers have clips or no clips. You can choose. There are a range of models, but I just really like this one. And not all the models have this finish, so I specifically looked for a model that had this type of cracked ice finish in this colorway. Now, these pens can come with just like regular steel nibs, but also you can order a shaver nib with it. And that is what I did. I have used shaver nibs before, but not very often. We have two shaver pens in his house and they both kind of need work. But they are fun to write with, and I love the inlaid look. So, body of the pen is fairly smooth. It has that like little dome on top, and then it is a screw cap, so you screw to uncap, and then you get this shaver section, which is kind of weird to look at, right? It is like this modern pen in this really cute, happy material with a shaver nib. Now, I chose a broad nib, and I hope it's gonna focus on the nib. And it's one of their inlaid nibs. I believe these nibs come from Imperials, and I hope that the pen that this came with was just like not usable anymore, or these are just nibs that were found, but I don't really know. Anyway, I chose a broad nib. This is a cartridge converter pen. It came with the converter. It is a shaver converter because it is a shaver nib. It's proprietary, and this is a squeezy one, and it worked actually really well, so pretty excited about that. This pen is on the floor because I am a klutz. Luckily we have carpet, so that's not really an issue. Anyway, it's a fairly good sized pen, right? You can use this unposted. Balance is pretty good. I like writing with it like this. This pen could be posted. It doesn't even become that back heavy because the material is very light, but it's not something that I would prefer because it is very long. Now, this pen has threads that are quite large. Like this step is quite large. The step from the nib unit to the threads and then back to the actual barrel. I have to say, nothing here feels sharp. It's all very smooth. So you can hold it here, you can hold it here, you can hold it super far back, and it's still really comfortable. So that is definitely not an issue. So you can choose which way to write with it. I do want to say don't grip it too low so your finger doesn't touch the feed. This is a thing I have with these types of feeds and nibs. I sometimes just lay my finger, or lay the nib, the feed on my finger, and then I'm all inky. I do this with the Parker 65 too, and it's highly impractical. Anyway, broad steel nib, and honestly, it's been so fun to write with. I don't know how it's gonna do like, because it's been uncapped for a while, but it is, oh, it is really fun, and it still writes. It is a delight to write with. Now, I've inked it with this. This is Sailor Okuyama. Yes, this box has been through something. It's James's box. I don't know what happened. But it's a really nice writing ink, and it's lovely in this pen. I think the ink is gonna run out really fast because this is a wet broad nib, and I don't know how big the cartridge is, so how much it can hold. Let's just write down Ranga, and then the model name is something that I am looking up right now. And this is the Diwali cracked ice, and this ink is Sailor Okuyama, and I wrote that down wrong. I wrote down Okayama. Alright, battery death ensued, and all my batteries are dying, so let's just keep writing with it for however long I can. This is a Schaefer nib. I was gonna say sailor, but it's definitely not a sailor nib. Schaefer nib. It is a broad, and it's wet and juicy and delightful. So I believe these are Imperial nibs. I'm actually gonna peek. So what I have experienced with this nib, aside from being like, it's pretty wet and very nice to use, but it does sometimes have a little bit of like a railroady action, and makes me think that there are signs of baby's bottom. However, it's not really that noticeable. The ink is wet enough to like cover that feeling, or that like little bit of skippage. But yeah, on some of the downstrokes I suffer from that, or the pen suffers from that. It might be because I'm out of its preferred range. Like, it might be that there is just a little bit of a sweet spot. I haven't really discovered what it exactly is. So, Imperial nib, yes, it's an Imperial nib. I checked, and it's really fun to write with. I'm really excited to like put a different ink color in there to see how it deals with that. Because Sailor inks, so these Sailor inks, the gentle inks, are generally quite wet. They have other series that are quite dry. I have an example of this right here. These inks are fairly dry, especially like 123, that is a multi-shader, very dry. But the gentle series is fairly wet. But yeah, excited to see what it can do. And I think this is going to be my rotation for quite a bit, because it is so pretty and so funky, and I really like it. I like writing with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video about this nib. It was kind of an exploration for myself too, because I was looking up some information while I was doing this. I am currently working full-time, so I don't really have that much time to film videos. I hope this was still entertaining though. And I liked talking about this one because it's really pretty. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.